Hi, I am Sergey Beloy. These days, when I'm desperately trying with my practically a zero budget to help my two-side project with making its first steps, the American company InfoSpace is busy with buying the company Tax Act for only about $300 million in cash. It provides InfoSpace, a search engine business with, I'm citing, strong presence and growth opportunities in, where do you think? In a tax preparation business. Well, top management of any company has the right to make any stupid decision it wants to. I really don't care what InfoSpace's chief executive officers are thinking about anymore. Today, I'd like to apply to ordinary people who works for InfoSpace, and to InfoSpace's investors, and also to all the people on the earth who simply has a common sense. It will be very interesting for you because I am going to talk about money, really big money. InfoSpace believes that providing its investors with a return of 16% per year is a good offer. What if I say they could earn 100 times more? Yes, 100. Actually, you too. Everybody could earn 100 times more. I'm serious. Well, I simply could say that I believe my two-side project is capable to make every its investor incredibly rich. That's the main point that InfoSpace and the whole world is currently missing. But you will not believe me. Because two-side is about the future that always is difficult to predict for sure. So instead, I am going to show you just one alternative scenario, which even not related to my web projects, but which is supported with some facts, absolutely undeniable facts, which nobody could argue against, because they are a reality already. So please just listen carefully to what I am going to tell you. For beginning, I can tell you that generally the famous financial venture MMM 2011 is capable to offer from 20 to 75% every month. Not the 16% once a year InfoSpace and other financial giants are very proud of. And if you think that what I am telling you is just a cheap advertisement trick, which, like most advertising, has nothing to do with reality, it's not the case. Unlike InfoSpace's corporate press releases that always come with a confession that what they say may possibly be not the truth in the future, I'm not talking in uncertain, forward-looking statements. My clear point is supported with undeniable facts from the past. And if, for example, InfoSpace's lawyers try again to accuse me in unfair competition, in this case in unfair advertisement, or promoting my own two-side project by comparing its efficiency with one of their businesses, or if because of that they try to tell the YouTube to remove this video from my account because they think I'm lying, for example, it's not the case. The truth is, every person who invested during last year into the MMM 2011 obtained from 20 to 75% every month. And nobody can argue this fact. Once again, I'm not promoting my two-sided.com in this video. I'm not asking InfoSpace's investors to invest into the two-side instead. Also, for me personally, it's somewhat weird why people put their money into projects for 16% per year when they can earn up to 75% per month. But it's only me. You are free to make any choice. I'm simply saying what is, to the best of my knowledge, undeniable truth. What is more, to avoid any possible attacks from InfoSpace's lawyers, just for the record, InfoSpace investors, please continue supporting InfoSpace Incorporated. The world is changing very fast, but more than likely InfoSpace's chief executive officers would be happy if you continue investing into them for only 16% per year. They would be happy you do it this year, next year, ideally for the rest of your life. 16% per year. If you invest in MMM 2011 right now, you will immediately get additional 25% to your sum just as a gift. Immediately. 25%. This offer is an extension of its New Year's promotion action, so hurry up. I mean that if you invest $100 right now in your account, there will be 125, as simple as that. And that's just a beginning, because percentage on the sum may greatly, fantastically multiply your income. People, awake! Why you give away your money to the companies that offer 16% per year at the time there is MMM 2011 with the opportunity to earn minimum 20% every month? In exactly 1 week from now, InfoSpace is going to announce its financial achievements for the year 2011. As usual, their PR team seems going to distribute this terse message in internet widely. For you, however, if you are the InfoSpace's investor, this is a perfect opportunity to ask its chief executive officers one simple question: why you give us only 16% per year? 7 months ago, I asked InfoSpace to give me $10 million. Obviously, they didn't pay any attention to my words. More than likely, they simply decided I'm crazy. But if they did, if they simply agreed to communicate with me, then we would turn the 10 million into almost 300 ones. Yes, that's roughly the same amount InfoSpace spends for buying its Tax Act today. In other words, InfoSpace could have the Tax Act plus additional 300 million in cash. Let me give you just one possible scenario on how it could be implemented. If 7 months ago I simply deposited 10 million into MMM 2011 account, I would get the sum of 268 million today. This is undeniable fact. Every $10 million invested into MMM 2011 last January would become 2.8 billion. Now, what about 287 millions? That's a price for the Tax Act. If 12 months ago InfoSpace simply invested that amount into MMM, today it would become the stunning $80 billion. In other words, InfoSpace could be 320 times richer. It could, but it didn't. The same story about businesses of ex-president of InfoSpace Naveen Jain, who believes he is a genius manager of all the times. Now ask InfoSpace's chief executive officers, what was a reason for them during last 10 years and up to now to simply refuse my existence? So the lesson number 1 for InfoSpace Incorporated, as well as for Naveen Jain: never assume people do not exist. I'm not asking InfoSpace chief executive officers why they spend all its stunning cash reserve over $250 million for a venture that has nothing to do with InfoSpace's main business, search. My impression is they feel themselves so full of financial wealth they simply don't know what else to desire in this life. Obviously, not supporting my search project, which I'm struggling to launch at precisely the same time. I'm not asking InfoSpace's investors to join me instead, because, for example, unlike InfoSpace, I'm focused on just one thing: a search engine based on a new, innovative kind of bookmarking community. My message is not for everybody. You can keep getting your 16% per year with InfoSpace. My two-side club is only for those of you who think